What's up guys, Ben from JK Gear and Gadgets, and in this video we are talking about the Powertank. I just got this. This is something I've been wanting to have for a long time. Finally went ahead and pulled the trigger and I am super stoked about it. So in this video we're going to talk about the Powertank, talk about the uses, the cost, some of the specs on it, and of course we're going to put it to use, test it out, and hopefully compare it to some of the other options on the market. But since we just got this, we have to go get this filled with 15 pounds of CO2. So before we actually start diving into the video, let's go get this thing filled at my local gas store and start testing it out. Let's do it. Before we go get this thing filled, let's go ahead and put it on the scale to see how much this weighs empty. That way we have a baseline. Got my scale right here. 24 pounds, boom. So empty, our power tank's 24 pounds. We should add 15 pounds of CO2 in it. No idea how much that's gonna cost, but we're gonna see. I also need to fill up my welding gas bottle. So I think it's safe to say that Ben from JK Gear and Gadgets is full of gas. Let's go fill this up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's rewind a little bit. I'm glad you asked. What is the Powertank? Simply put, it is the fastest way to air up your tires after an off-road trip, hands down. So before we get back on the road and fill this thing up with CO2 in the video, I'm gonna show you guys how this works. Let's go ahead and keep airing down this tire to about 8 to 10 PSI. All right here in the gauge, this one's reading 7.6, still pretty low. Let's get this stopwatch ready, see how long it takes. Bug on me. Man, the mosquitoes are already coming out. It's February. This is crazy. All right, 35 seconds. We are at 20 PSI. Once we hit a minute, we'll check again. Right. 29.3. Finish that off real quick, round it up. 30 PSI. And let's stop that. Took me a while to stop it. 1 minute and 8 seconds from 8 PSI to 30 PSI. So we'll just go ahead and chalk that up to 1 minute. Now that you've seen what it's for, let's get back to the video. $4 homes. Seems like a good deal. Let's go ahead and talk about the availability of filling a CO2 tank. Originally, I had no idea of any place around me in my area that filled CO2 tanks. So I actually started talking to a buddy that does craft brewing right in his garage. And he just spit off a ton of places that can fill CO2 tanks, which is awesome. So talk to guys that you know, do craft brewing or paintball. A lot of those guys know of places that can fill CO2 tanks. And there's actually a few places around me that I didn't even know about. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to a store that deals with fire system testing. Shit, switch hands, I gotta shift. And they use CO2 quite often. So they'll be able to fill it for me, no problem. You don't wanna go to a place that requires bottle exchange. You wanna find a place that will actually fill your bottle, because we don't wanna get rid of our power tank. Hopefully it's not gonna be too expensive, but we will see. We're heading there now. Luckily it's only 20 minutes away. We're gonna fill this tank up. Just got it filled. Sadly, I wasn't able to go inside the back and actually get footage of them filming it. They said they have a lot of stuff around laying around and they didn't really want it to be recorded. I don't blame them. If I owned a shop, I would want some guy with a camera back there showing all their business off to the world. But right here, 15 pounds of CO2, 25 bucks. Not bad at all. One of the guys working here has a sweet Renegade. So they just finished restoring it last winter. I always see it driving by, but I never knew this place filled gas. So let's head back and start this video off. All right guys, welcome back, and we are gonna talk about the Powertank. This is actually the second time I am recording this. I just talked for 10 minutes straight about the Powertanks. I realized that I sat here and I was rambling on for 10 minutes, and that's boring. Nobody's gonna sit here and watch me talk for 10 minutes in this exact space. So I'm gonna kind of try to mix it up. I'm taking a little bit of info out and I think I'm gonna split this into multiple videos. I was talking about you know, some of the benefits of using a CO2 tank opposed to an air compressor. Let's do that in a completely separate video. We'll talk about all the different options for airing up. I'll show you those, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of it. Instead of me sitting here yapping in one video, we'll split it up into two. This one, we'll just look at the Powertank, we'll talk about that, and later on down the road, hopefully in a couple weeks, we will break out the Powertank, we will break out our ARB compressor, and a little portable electric, and we'll talk about all your different options. But for this video, hopefully by now you already have seen that the Powertank is a CO2 bottle where we can fill our tiles. No, you can't fill your tiles with it. We can fill our tires extremely fast. It is the fastest way to air up your tires on the market. I mean, I have a 250 gallon, that's not 250 gallon, what am I thinking? I don't know, I have a Harbor Freight air compressor over there, and even that takes about 2.5 minutes to air up my 40s. As you saw, this did it in pretty much right around a minute, which is extremely fast. You can't beat it. There's different sizes. This is a 15-pound. They start at 5 pound, 10 pound, 15, and 20, and you kind of have to look around and see what fits your needs the best. If you're running 33s, a little 10 pounder will probably be perfectly fine. If you're running 42s, you might need a 20 pound, and it also depends how often you want to go to the store and get it filled. I'm not going to sit here in this video and just start naming off specs and, you know, all the website information. And we'll talk about the Powertank. It has 45 cubic feet a minute of output flow. That's all great and dandy. It makes you sound smart, but honestly, if you guys are actually interested in it, go to the website. You can read all that. I'm not going to bore you sitting here telling you all those specs. Let's just talk about the general reason behind, you know, the idea of using CO2 and why I like it. There's a lot of people that love this setup. There's a lot of people that hate it. Some people just hate the fact that it's not infinite supply like an air compressor. You have to get it filled, but there's a trade-off between the two. It's nice having the faster and quicker option, and yes, every once in a while we will have to stop at our store and get it filled. 25 bucks isn't bad, and it took them less than 5 minutes to fill it. So honestly, I'm personally not worried about that. If I went wheeling every single day, I probably wouldn't bother with this, but then I might. I don't, that's where the dilemma is. If I went wheeling every day, I wouldn't want to sit there and air up my tires every day waiting around for 30 minutes, especially when you're on bigger tires. It takes forever. We are already at 3 minutes and 23 seconds. How can I make this video go quicker? I need to take a hit of the Powertank so we can go faster. No, I'm just kidding. But the Powertank, check out their website if you're interested. There's a ton of different options. If you're on 35s or bigger, I wouldn't recommend a 5 pound CO2 tank. That's tiny. At least stay with 10 or bigger. If you're on 37s or 40s, check out the 15 and the 20 pounder. If you have like a truck or a trailer, that's more of a place to keep that opposed to in your Jeep. They have a ton of brackets on their website, and I mean, you can order this thing just with the regulator, the guard, and the tank. You don't have to get the hose, the gauge, the bracket, this little bottom protector. You can go as cheap as you want, or you can get all the bells and whistles and spend all the money in the world. It's up to you. But let's talk about why I went with a Powertank opposed to making one myself. I know a lot of people do make them themselves, and let's grab the camera so we can move this around and get jiggy with it so you're not sitting there all bored. Ooh, look, pretty LJ. A lot of people make their own tanks. They buy an aluminum tank online, anywhere from 160 to 200 bucks. Cool. Then they go on Amazon or some other store and buy a CO2 regulator, put their thing together. They come out here, air up their tires, and oh no, there's no more air coming out because their regulator froze. Powertank uses a very special regulator, high flow, or HP. I don't know what that means. Happy people? I don't know. Probably horsepower. Yeah. But no, I don't know what that means. This is a super high flow regulator. It lets us put out 250 PSI and 45 cubic feet per minute. I got that info from their website. Don't I sound smart? But no, it puts out a very high flow and does not freeze, because when CO2 turns from a liquid to a gas, it gets extremely cold. You guys have seen that, and we'll see it probably here soon when I start using it. They do sell the regulator separately. There's nothing wrong with going and buying your own tank, buying their regulator, and making your own kit. What I don't recommend is trying to get a cheap regulator, a cheap bottle, and expecting it to work with good success. It's not gonna happen. But I know a lot of people don't want to spend the money, and they're like, oh, I want to save some money, but I still like this setup. if you really want to, go buy a bottle, buy their regulator, buy some type of guard so it doesn't get knocked off when you're wheeling. And there's nothing wrong with that. Personally, I just don't have time to do that much research. And honestly, Powertank is a great company. They support the off-road community a ton, and it's a great product. So I'm over here yapping again. This is gonna be a 10-minute video, or just 10 minutes of me talking. We haven't even scratched the surface on this. You can get a bunch of different colors. Of course, I went with red because red is the best. Now, let's go ahead and spice this video up a little bit. Let's see how long it takes to air up a 35. All right, so the tire is aired down. Let's check it out. We are sitting at 11.2 PSI. We have our hose hooked up. Let's talk about how to actually use the Powertank. We are gonna open our valve. Dun, dun, dun. On top, very easy. And they also do offer different valves. Little upgrade, I went with the red. The one they have here is plastic, and this was an option. Figured extra 30 bucks, might as well. Of course, that's one of the other things. All this stuff adds up. You don't have to get this. There's nothing wrong with the plastic valve, but I figured that was pretty cool. And I'm a YouTuber, so I like getting all the cool little stuff. So when you guys see this, you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool option. Some people might be like, Ben, that is a horrible waste of money, but that's up to you. Now that we have our top valve open, we are gonna turn our adjustable regulator right here. As you can tell, hopefully the GoPro's picking up, we have lockers at 100 PSI, tools between 100 and 150, and our tires between 200 and 250 PSI. So we are gonna open this up until our gauge is on the max for tires. All the way up. Yeah, I'm hip. Now, since we have the super coupler, if I went ahead and pushed this, we aren't getting anything. So that's one of the cool things about super coupler. We are going to definitely kind of a two-hand job here. Hold the GoPro with my legs. We're gonna push it up. And now we are ready to air this up. So let me grab my phone, set it on the ground here. Oh, look, it's me and Cassie, super sweet. Let's go. Oh man, everybody just saw my passcode. Oh well, what can a man do? Are y'all ready? Let's go ahead and press start.
Started at 11, we're gonna go up to 30 once again. Let's see, 15 seconds? Wow, we're already at 20 PSI in 15 seconds. I shouldn't have stopped it, we're losing time. Let's see if we can do it in 30 seconds. There we are, we're at 27, 28, 29, 30. We are 26, oh, why did I stop it?
.32 PSI at 45 seconds. If we had just went wheeling, we could air up all 4 tires in the matter of minutes. That's insane. Less than a minute, 45 seconds to go to 32 PSI on 35s. Awesome. That's crazy. That is crazy. Another one of the awesome benefits of having a Powertank other than airing up your tires is the fact that you can run air tools with it. Generally, if we're at home working, I definitely wouldn't want to sit here and use up my Powertank running air tools. But if we're on the trail, if you have a pneumatic impact gun, really any power tool that runs on air, you can bring it with you and use it. Now, I don't have an air impact gun, I have an electric one, so I don't have anything to show you guys with, but I do have a little cutoff wheel, and all you have to do is turn our regulator to tools, and as you can tell, works perfectly fine. It's gonna put out the same amount of power as your air tank does, if not even more, because it's right there, 150 PSI, that's pretty much what your tank is gonna put out. And with 45 cubic feet a minute of air, that's crazy. So it's gonna work perfectly fine. I wouldn't use it a lot because it does burn through that air. But let's talk a little bit about the super coupler. Right here, with it up, it works. Now, throw that down, you hear that release of air. There's no air going to this. So now we can safely remove this chuck without any worry of air or this thing shooting out. All right, we just covered air tools. What's next? Seating beads. If you need to seat the bead of a tire off-road, so suppose you don't have bead locks and you blew a bead, there's a few ways to do it. You can use starter fluid and light it on fire and poof. You can use ratchet straps and a slow compressor and try to reseat the bead, but you can also use the air tank. It puts out a lot of air extremely quick and it will seat that bead. Pretty cool. Hopefully another video we'll be able to show you that. Like I said, this is going to be part of a lot of other videos. all about airing up. We're going to look at all the options. Of course, we are going to include the power tank. I know the power tank isn't for everybody. A lot of people don't need this. A simple compressor works for them. So that's where those other videos will come into play. I just really wanted to show you guys this because it's my new toy. It's kind of fun. It is an awesome new toy, and I'm excited to get it mounted. That'll probably be another video too. Haven't figured out where I'm going to mount it yet because I do have the diabolical side racks. I took the shelf off. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that for. Really neat idea, but now that we're adding a power tank, we're adding more and more stuff to the Jeep, and kind of changing it up. I like to change it up quite often. All right, guys, well, it's time to go ahead and start wrapping up this video. I know it's already pretty long, and I would love to keep talking about all the benefits of the power tank and really why I chose it, but I think the best way to actually do this is to just use this in separate videos. I've been wanting to do a video on how to, reseat your bead of a tire on a trail. There's a lot of ways to do it, and the power tank is included as one of those options. So now that we have this, I'll be able to use it in more videos, especially doing a video on all your options of airing up tires after an off-road trip. We'll include this. We'll talk about the pros and cons pretty much of each scenario, but I just wanted to make the video, show you guys what this is. I'm excited to have it, and it's really going to help out with a lot of videos. Now, to wrap it up, I will say that I went ahead and put on my nice new red valve. Looks pretty cool. And talking about mounting real quick, go ahead and get their super bracket. I think that's what it's called. This is, especially if you want to use any of their other mounting options, the ones that go over here in the corner with the hard top bolts, you will need to have this because this is just pretty much the backing plate. And as you can tell, you can use this to mount it really wherever you want if you do have some mounting ideas in your head. The 10-pounders, I've seen a lot of people put those up here on the roll bar. Great place for the 10-pounders. 15-pound is a little bit bigger. I don't think we can really squeeze it up there, but I think I will probably go with the mount that actually mounts in the corner with the hard top bolts. So that'll be pretty cool. Probably be its own separate video, but overall, power tank definitely the fastest way to air up your tires, and the great thing about it is that it's portable. So since now that we have the JK and the LJ over there, I don't have a way to air up that if we did decide to take the LJ on a trip. I can simply undo my power tank, take it out of the Jeep, throw it in the back of the LJ, strap it down, and boom, now have a way to air up the tires on the LJ if we take that out for a trip. So it's portable. You can air up your buddy's tires. You can bring it over to his house if he needs to see his bead, doing bead locks or something. There's so many different options, and we will get to that in future videos. So thanks for watching, guys. Like always, if you have any questions about the power tank in general, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try to answer those for you. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for a lot more videos. I didn't really talk about price of the power tank in this video because there are so many different options. I'll go ahead and spit some numbers out. Like the 10-pound bottle regulator, kind of just like this. I mean, you're looking at $400. If you go up to the 15-pound, it's anywhere from $500 to $650, and it really depends on what accessories, brackets. If you get the hose, you get the inflator. There's a ton of different options. So if you're interested, I didn't want to just name a price because there's so many variables. Check out their site, see what would work for you, and like always, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to talk with you and maybe kind of help you out decide what size you need. But 15-pound is great for me, especially with 40s, possibly bigger in the future. But thanks for watching, guys. One thing I have to ask of you real quick, go ahead and hit that share button, copy the link, and share it with a Jeep buddy. Trying in 2019, trying to grow the channel a lot. Really would like to get up to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I need your help. Share it with a Jeep buddy. I mean, there's no reason not to. Everybody likes watching Jeep YouTube videos, so share the channel with any of your Jeep buddies. Tell them subscribe, check out the channel, do a lot of cool videos, and there's a lot in store for 2019. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.